So here we have a new 2023 Cadillac CT5 in the sport trim level. And this one comes in black raven on jet black with jet black accented perforated leather interior. And our powertrain on this one consists of a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine made with a 10-speed automatic transmission. And it's dripping just a little bit. I just ran it through the car wash. It was pretty filthy. But oh, does it shine when it's clean. And there's our front end there. We have our LED signature lights along with our LED daytime running lights, or excuse me, along with our LED headlamps. And I just love that sport grille there. Looks really good. And that mesh just really goes with the all black, and then you have that aluminum brush trim so that it doesn't necessarily all blend in together, and I really like how they did that. But as we come down here, we have 19-inch aluminum wheels. We have our red brake calipers there. Really nice look. Can't go wrong with that. We get passive keyless entry on the front 2 doors. And over here to our door panel, we have power door locks, memory seating, power windows, power mirrors. And then there's our trunk latch there. We can just pop the trunk from right there. And then we have an electronic parking brake as well as a heads-up display, and there are the controls for that there. We have a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And there's our power driver's seat with power lumbar support there. Let's go ahead and check out this rear seat room. So, okay room back here. I'm 6'3" and I have the seat in front of me adjusted for someone of my size. And what takes up the leg room, of course, you want a nice cushy seat. It's a big boy right there, and it's very wide near the bottom. So, still, like I said, decent room. I could probably scoot the seat back up and I could fit back here no problem. But there we have our rear AC vents, and then we have a 12-volt as well as a USB-C charging port there. And there is a view of the front from back here. Let's go ahead and check out that center seat cup holder. I like that we have seat pockets back here. Just stuff maps or whatever. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk space. So pretty decent sized cargo space there. And I like how that you have a nice big pocket there to stuff that you don't want rolling around. And then in here, you have your battery. And there's a nice look at the back end. We have our dual exhaust LED tail lights. And then if you want to fold the back seat down, all you have to do is pull up right there. And then those will fold flat and you can run stuff through it from the trunk. And then you just snap it back into place to lock it back. And then here we have our power front passenger seat with power lumbar support. And as we come around, before we look at the engine, I just want to take a quick look at this window sticker here. So, sticker price $54,390. That includes the technology package, which comes with that heads-up display and the driver cluster. Then we do get those $1,000 Brembo brakes there. Sunroof, nav, Bose, which we'll go into all of that once we hop in the driver's seat. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and just take a quick look at the engine bay. And there's that 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And I really just like how the engine bay looks. It makes this 4-cylinder look really aggressive, that it's kind of exposed in there. But getting in the driver's seat now, I will say the acoustics in here, there's some construction or something going on next to me, and as soon as I got in here and shut the door, I felt like I was in a sound booth or something, so really impressed. But here we have a really nice leather wrap 3-spoke steering wheel, which we can heat by hitting this button here. But we'll get back to the steering wheel controls later. Let's check out this infotainment system here. And I believe this is a 12-inch screen. But we get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth audio. And then we get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. And then there we have our navigation. There's our backup camera there with our guidelines that turn as we turn the steering wheel. And we can pull up our climate controls on the screen. We have dual zone automatic climate controls, so we can use that there, or we can go down here and we have them as buttons and all that. We can tap up here for speed, temperature, and of course if you want to have it set to the windshield, face, or your feet. And what I like about this is most ACs you have to actually turn it off to not have it going anywhere, but I can literally just hit the button and have everything off, which I really like. And then we have 3-stage heated cooled seats, controls down here, and there are the controls for our parking sensors, lane departure. Then over here we have our drive mode. So we have Tour, Sport, Snow and Ice, and you have a My mode you can actually configure yourself. Traction control, automatic brake hold, auto stop toggle. Really nice size wireless charging pad, and a little bit of storage over here, which I like that they did that. Now for our shifter, hit this button on the side, pull down for drive, tap for manual, and then you can tap up for neutral, hit the button, push all the way up for reverse, press P for park. Pretty simple. And then here's our volume knob. We have our track list or radio station controls here, nav shortcut, audio shortcut, phone shortcut, and we have a back button. And you can actually use this to scroll through the screen. And pretty easy to use. Really like it. Now in here we have a pretty nice size center console cubby space. SD card reader there for our navigation, a USB-C and a USB-A input there, along with the 12-volt. And then let's check out this ultraview sunroof. It's gonna be a dual pane sunroof. And the front one we can actually slide or tilt one touch, which I'll demonstrate that. But we can do that open and close. And there are the controls for that, as well as the universal home remote. And we have our LED dome lights as well. And there is a view of the back seat from up here. And before I forget, these, what I like is you have the driver and front passenger seats that have massage function as well. I forgot to touch on that. And just a really, really nice feel there. Owner's manuals and all that there. And it really is the icing on the cake for a $55,000 vehicle to have massage seats. Really worth it in my opinion. Here we have our cruise controls. We can toggle that there. Bluetooth, voice recognition. It's our gap adjust for the forward collision alert. Right side of the steering wheel, we have our track list or radio station favorite controls there. And then we have the controls for our gauge cluster right here. And I like that everything is on the screen. There's a lot going on, but it doesn't seem too crowded. And then volume controls are here. And then behind the steering wheel on either side, we have our paddle shifters. Headlamps, you can toggle that auto high beam there. Windshield wiper controls. There's that heads up display. And of course we can change the info on there. There we have push button start. And finally, here is our key fob with remote start. But next it's time we take this 2023 CT5 Sport out on the road for a quick test drive. So to start out with, I just want to go over the overall just feel getting behind the wheel of this thing. I feel very, very comfortable. I love how, I guess, bolstered up these seats are. Because I come out of this corner here, the seat's doing a pretty good job at holding me from hitting the side of the vehicle. And the steering wheel just feels so plush, yet so sporty. And this massage seat really just makes all the difference, because it's not like in the CT6, it's not super plush, but it's still very comfortable. And it just makes the wear and tear on your back a lot less noticeable. But I love how this 2-liter turbo pulls along with this 10-speed automatic, just so seamless. Now we do have adaptive cruise on this model, so I'm gonna test that out here. And then we have the lane departure as well. And I really wish that GM, and I've said this a million times, I wish they would get a lane tracing technology that has the Super Cruise kind of capability. Because lane departure, just for this kind of vehicle and this kind of money, it just doesn't cut it for me. I really wish that they would have that going on. Now, if you don't like having the vehicle take most of the control, then lane departure will be just good enough for you so that you don't go off the road while you're driving. But especially on the interstate, I'd like to have Super Cruise without necessarily having Super Cruise, if that makes sense. And I think for an extra $1,500 to $2,000, kind of like Ford's Copilot, people would be willing to pay for that and not necessarily have to pay the full Super Cruise price, especially if they're just going to be on regular roads and 4-lane highways like myself. But I have it in sport mode, so let me go ahead and change it to tour. And I don't know why I just said tour like that. Oh well. And I really like the modes because I can feel the steering loosen up. Still doesn't feel flimsy, but and in this mode, it doesn't tend to want to shift to get you in that higher RPM range. It kind of uses the turbo for smooth but slight acceleration. But here on this road, the lane departure, I guess what irritates me about it is you never know when it's actually paying attention. So it'll ding you once, but then if you go back over there again, it's like, I may or may not help you this time. And I have a Chrysler Pacifica hybrid, a 22 model with the lane sense. And that's something else that I really just, I have a Mach-E as well, and just having the lane centering, you just don't want to be in a vehicle that doesn't have it once you get used to it. Like, I either want to have my lane centering on, which I guess you can toggle this off, but I either want full control for long trips or just driving around town. I don't really, being the kind of driver I am, I don't necessarily need lane departure because I'm not on my phone or anything like that. But with that being said, this is a $55,000 car, and you do get a lot for your money. Heated cooled seats, lane departure, nav, massage seats, sunroof, and a really good powertrain. So I'd still recommend this vehicle, even though there are a few things that Cadillac could have come a little bit harder on. But with that being said, that's going to bring me to the end of my review of the 2023 Cadillac CT5 Sport.